Hey guys and gals, today's video is going to be an absolute blast. Wait till you see what we got going for you. We're going to kick off in Hopewell Junction, New York at the beautifully restored Hopewell Depot. Then we head east, hitting highlights along the former New Haven Maybrook line. Finally, we end up in Towners, New York, where the New Haven crossed over the New York Central on its way to Danbury, Connecticut. Come on, you ready? Let's go. Here at the Fishkill Creek in Hopewell, just east in railroad terminology and south of the village of Hopewell. And we chose this spot to shoot because this is original New Haven Bridge. That's original New Haven Bridge that's been maintained because that's current modern day main line. This one was main line, the third of the 3 lines, and that middle one is the current modern day walkway. And you can see where they've reinforced concrete there as well as over there to accommodate the walkway. This was at one point 1, 2, 3 identical truss spans like you're seeing. There were 2 sidings located here at Greenhaven. One, pictured here, went to the Greenhaven Correctional Facility power plant for coal deliveries. That, we have to assume it was built sometime in the 1940 plus or minus range. The second one that we see existed prior to the correctional facility being built, and it possibly was part of Camp Whitman. Camp Whitman was a 19-teens U.S. Army military training facility located on the approximately 800-acre site of which became the correctional facility property. Troops that were stationed here arrived on New York Central coaches. So the Greenhaven Correctional Facility, like most other prisons and correctional facilities within New York State, was heavily dependent on being as self-sufficient as possible. So they had their own farm and farm buildings and tractors and herds and herdsmen and greenhouses and such. They were very, very heavily involved in farming. They actually used to enter into a lot of the local ag fairs, some of their products. South Greenhaven Road, near the site of the Greenhaven Correctional Facility, eastbound toward Whaley Lake and westbound toward Hopewell. South Greenhaven. And as Matt just said, we haven't been arrested on a Sunday yet.
Not yet.
Here we are, Depot Hill Road in Poughquag. Eastbound toward Whaley Lake. Westbound to Hopewell. Now at some point between Hopewell and I would say Perrins Lane off of Seaman Road in Stormville, at some point between those two locations the trail and the rail cross over one another. As in Hopewell, if you noticed, the tracks were on the right hand side and the trail was on the left, and vice versa, and they cross. This is Depot Hill Road. The Poughquag station was here. I was always told where the substation is right here. It always seemed to make the most sense to me, but this is the grade. This is the long and winding 2% plus grade that basically starts at our last location down on South Greenhaven Road and continues uphill to a point just beyond us. Here is the drastic turn that we're going to feature in the drone footage, and then it descends down to what was called West Pauling at the intersection of Old Route 55 and 292 just before Whaley Lake. We're getting there, kids. So I was infinitely wrong. A 1.2 to 1.3% grade. And we are here at Poughquag Depot Hill. We're going to go on foot and walk. You've got Whaley Lake and then Reynolds and then Holmes. We're not going to go that far. We're just going to go up to the turn that's eastbound this way. Might be hard to tell here, but that little indent there right here is a wheel spin. And if we go exactly across from it, we've got waves and wheel spins on this side too.
Right here, a couple feet up.
That's looking westbound to Hopewell. This is looking eastbound to the summit. We're almost to the summit. Yep, here's another one Matt just showed. That's about 8 feet apart from the last one. And there's the ripples on that piece over there. So they were definitely pulling some weight. Just about to crest the summit, and they had some heavy wheel spin. Good find, Matt. Well, there we're looking westbound toward Hopewell, and we're continuing our walk. And here we're going eastbound, and we're just at the start of the curve. We've got our 21-mile marker here in Poughquag. It's the start of the curve here and the flattening out of the crest of the hill or mountain. Some call it mountain, some call it hill. I call it a hill. If you grew up in the Rockies, this is just a molehill. But this is the crest on the turn. You can see the obvious curve, and it does a half of a horseshoe on back down and starts the descent down to West Pauling. So while Matt's flying the bird in the sky, we should get a glimpse of it soon. I'll go on a little eastbound walk. We're now on the descent. We are on the descent eastbound. I did read both in that on that kiosk and in one of my books that this westbound grade was slightly larger, 1.3 compared to 1.2 going eastbound. But we're about at the apex of the curve. We've got some nice rock cuts here. Heavy pusher use here on the New Haven. I hear the drone. It's overhead somewhere. I hear it. I guess we won't see it. I think it's past us now. But this is the rock cut that we're in the midst of here. It continues higher rock on this north side, but it's pretty high on the south side too. And at some point in time, it would be wonderful to see it in our lifetime. There's a tourist line operating here. That's about a 8-foot piece. Laying here on the side. Well, Reynolds, Whaley Lake and Reynolds and Holmes are down that way. I'll end here. This is a infamous spot for snakes here on hot summer days. They'll be up there on top. Right up there. Just kind of hanging out. Timber rattlers. It's kind of late in the season for them, but on the sunnier spots you'd see them out on a day like this. And a day like this happens to be Labor Day weekend 2025. Today is August, I believe, 31st. So anyway, apex of the curve. On the descent to Whaley Lake. For all you drill marks, guys and gals, right there. We're on the eastern shore of Whaley Lake. This is the money shot right here, kids. East to Danbury, west to Hopewell. We are on the site of the former Sanita Hills, which I have documented in 4 or possibly even 5 Lost Rail Beds videos. That's how close we are to the lake. Right here. Telegraph poles abound out here. Many of them still have insulators on them. We've got the drone up in the sky, the birds in the air. Matt's got her going back to what will be our starting point for this video of West Pauling at the intersection of Old 55 and 292. Down here what I have found is they were upgraded to the rubberoid, celluloid insulators. But the old girl stands nonetheless. And there's wire all through the woods down here. It's beautiful. It's got tourist train written all over it. Here comes the bird coming back home to Papa to roost. Nice. Did someone say dinner train? Returning back to Hopewell at dusk as the sun slowly sets over Whaley Lake. I want to live long enough to see it and to be part of it. August 31st, 2025. She's still here. Our old girl. And guess what? Those 3 transom windows are still intact. No little fiends have broken them yet. Hello, friend. Has this tree done any worse? Nope. The crook in the tree is still there. Yeah, I'm just going to bring up my electric chainsaw one of these days and take it out of its misery. It's dead. It's a dead ash. Yep, she's still there. Truss rods are almost on the ground now. Not quite. I would say right there 10 inches off the ground. When I first started coming up here, it was over 1.5 feet. Oh well. Slippery, slimy, greeny, mossy dam that holds the ice pond back. And we're here in Holmes. Holmes, just down over yonder, a little ways from here. That's Hurd and Tanner Road up there. This is 292, this is Holmes Road. Just a little ways down there is the Putnam County line, Dutchess County, Putnam County line. So this would be a great end to a potential tourist line out of Hopewell. It's 20, somewhere in the neighborhood, I haven't mapped it out, 21, 22, 23 miles one way from Hopewell. Holmes had a station. Holmes had a creamery. Over there you can just about see the roof. Was a general store and meat market. And now they have this walking trail. There's a trailhead parking lot up there, and this is how folks get down to it right here. This was the site of the station. It sat very close to the tracks, and there was a siding here, possibly 2 sidings. I don't want to get too far out ahead of myself here without doing research, but the ice pond is over here, and Holmes Road 292. This is it. So looking westward toward Hopewell, again 21 to 23 miles. Eastward, Putnam County line, not far from here, goes down to the ice pond where the New Haven and the New York Central crossed, and the New Haven went on over to Danbury, and the New York Central turned in down into the Putt lane putt line rather, and it went down to New York City, and it went all the way up north to Chatham, New York, where it interchanged with the Rutland and the Boston and Albany, I believe. You guys are going to tell me if I'm wrong. That's looking west toward Holmes and Hopewell eventually. We're at 311 overpass here in Patterson. There's the rock ledge, rock cut. This way is toward Danbury east, and we do have rails here, right here, and right in there. The 311 overpass is up here, and the bridge is gone, torched off. I'll show you that next. This is continuing east from the 311 overpass toward the first of, I believe, 3 164, Route 164 crossings. And we'll get up to them in a minute. We'll document them. We are eastbound toward Counters. Heading east from Patterson. This is the first of the 164 crossings, and the deck, the ties, and the rails are intact. This is going east from Patterson, the second of the 164 crossovers. We have some fence damage here. And let's see if these rails are intact or not. They still are in here, but I see rails inside the gauge, which means those are the ones they ripped up and luckily saved, and they took them apart at the rail joints. They didn't just torch them like they did out in the Catskills. They had some thought into this. Oh, looks like the deck is still in place, and the deck is still in place, and the bridge is still in place, and the ties and rails are gone. Climb up here. There you go. This is the second of the 164 crossings in between Patterson and Towners. This is a private crossing in between the 164 road crossings. Okay, so this way is westbound to Holmes and Hopewell. And here we notice in between the second and third Route 164 crossings, we cross over. The trail crosses
to the other side of the rails. And we continue east toward Towners, and that bridge work up there is the third and I do believe final crossing of 164. I usually do. Oh. Alright. That's west toward Holmes and Hopewell. And we are at what I believe to be the third and final 164 crossing. And we have, yep, we have a bridge iron. Let's get up on this fence. Don't drop the phone, Russ. Well, we have iron work and we have no ties or rails, but this is again the third and I believe final Route 164 crossing. Now, a very interesting thing, let me get down over here. If you look right there, that's New York Central Harlem Division right there. He's going over it now. Boom, boom. So, with that in mind, we do know we are close to the Towners Bridge crossover. Let's go down there. And that, kids, is the Towners crossover, New Haven over top of the New York Central. We are at grade level New York Central Harlem Division. We are looking south toward New York City. Behind me is north toward Chatham, New York. We are at Route 164 in Towners. They chose to leave the rails. We're going westbound to eastbound. We're going eastbound now. That's eastbound to Danbury right there. We are on the crossover New Haven over top of New York Central at Towners. And the rails are intact and in great shape. Down below us, over there, New York Central. We're up on top of the bridge looking south, south New York Central, east New Haven. Down yonder, in between the two lines, is the ice pond north of Brewster. Well, this is about as close as I can get you to the virtual overhead diamond, where the New Haven crosses over top of the New York Central. One can only imagine someday in the future running a tourist line from Hopewell to Danbury and running an old Alco over this historic crossing here at Towners, New York. That would be such a beautiful endeavor. I hope I live long enough to see it and be part of it.
We hope you followed along and enjoyed this video on such a beautiful and important link to the past with a connection to the future. Many thanks from Caitlin and Russ at Lost Railbeds. Thanks for watching.